Hey there guys, this is Obsidian Chill. Got another video for today. This is coming from the test server. This is a part of episode 45, Shock to the System. This is the 4-player Elite Alert Meta Therapy Clinic. So before I get into the commentary, as you saw, you can run past all the ads at the start. Don't kill the hundreds of ads on the ground floor and on top of the balcony. You're just going to unnecessarily add like 10 minutes to the alert. There is a kill feat, technically, to kill 520, but spoiler, at the end of this run, we killed 78 already. So that's A, an indication of how many ads are in the alert, and B, you don't need to kill any of the ones at the start. So pugs, just skip by them, follow the group to the elevators here. So I want to briefly touch on my philosophy for uploads on test server. So the reason why, I mean, as of like this episode comes out tomorrow. So the episode comes out tomorrow, and you haven't seen me upload the alert or the raid or the ally or the artifact or the OP back and stuff like, sorry, not the OP back, the OP chest and a bunch of other stuff. So actually quickly I want to interrupt that, not to bounce around this commentary all over the place, but this is the kind of elevator puzzle. As you saw, that icon above the elevator turned to red. You track down the wires to be red and you'll see that symbol on the other side, and if you miss it, you get the improper security code. Then you reset the basically elevator dial, as you'll see here. The symbol above the door changed to blue. You trace back the blue wire as they're turning that cog, and then you go inside the office, turn the corresponding cog. It's going to say accepted. Then it's going to change again. Now you see it's red. You go to the red cable. I know they're not easy to see. You may have to increase your graphics for that, but there is red colors. Then the security code accepted. It's going to change to green. You're going to find the green wire and then run into the office here. The puzzle does not change in normal and elite. The puzzle is just that, just the 3 security codes. There's no mix-up. It's always in the same location, so don't worry about it. So yeah, back to my philosophy on the uploads. It is not my intent. I know people have heard me complain about like the release date being too rushed or stuff like that. The reason why is because I don't like uploading content from test server that I don't feel is ready, because it gives a false impression to you as the viewers that, you know, this is your expectations. So the first time you're ever seeing this on test server, or the first part you're ever seeing this this part of the episode, it kind of gives you either a false impression or like false hope that it's going to be good. Like basically you're setting your expectations against this video or the footage that you saw. You're going to say, oh, this elite raid's going to suck, or this raid's going to suck because it was so easy or broken in Obsidian's video. Of course, it's not going to be the same experience when you hit live. It could be different, but that's why I don't like giving like the uploads until I at least feel it's semi-ready. Like there could be bugs or feats not added or a couple mechanics missing, but ultimately it's in a good place to upload. That's why you never see me upload them day one. They usually do like the duo, like I do, because the duo is usually pretty complete. And then open world bounties I had to wait because they weren't in the on test server for like a week. So that's why I ideally didn't want to bring you the alert. I'm not even sure I can bring you the raid as of this recording. I do have a raid attempt after this recording that might bring you some footage, but ultimately I don't know if I'll be able to do it. So yeah, I'm doing the static ally. Don't worry about that. The artifact I don't think I can do, maybe tomorrow or on release day, because the artifact is technically working, but then it's not showing any, you're updating the numbers. So it's basically, if I do testing, you have to basically trust what you see. Like it's not fully working as intended. Well, I guess it is working intended, but none of the values are reflecting properly. So you can't see that it's working. You basically just have to know that it's working, if that makes sense. So I'm not in an ideal spot. And then of course the announcement yesterday, we're not going to see the Gemini changes. So, and not seeing those Gemini changes actually works out great, because not with Gemini spam, it heavily influences the new static ally and whether or not it needs to be leveled. So that's a good thing that came out after the fact. I can mention in the video, but and I'm almost to the OP chest guide, so I can do that. But as you see in the first boss in the elite alert, it's Parasite. The problem with Parasite is that it's a terrible boss. So Parasite, if you don't know history, I think we fought him like twice before. As you can see, Parasite's bugged right now. He's going to stand still for like 2 minutes. So I mean, that's a plus. but even if Parasite wasn't bugged, you know, FY, this comes out tomorrow, by the way. even if Parasite wasn't bugged, he's not that great of a boss. He was an easy boss in survival mode. So back in like 2015, he was in the FOSS survival mode. He wasn't hard then. All he did was he had to lunge his sucking attack because it would be a self-heal, and it would pull the group in, and then he could do some like burst damage. But that was it. I mean, as long as the tank lunged him and gave like immunity, or the group broke out, that was it. It was basically just a cakewalk boss. Parasite was not any sort of issue. He does his acid spray attack, but then he doesn't track the player, so you just move out of the way. So it's tough. For me, it's tough because you have an alert that's, unpolished, I should say. Unfinished is, maybe a harsher word, but unpolished is certainly a more realistic representation. So you have an elite that's unpolished, but then you have bosses that just don't work. Like, you can't make them elite. You'd have to add a whole bunch of like room mechanics and stuff like that because Parasite doesn't really do anything himself. The Parasite mechanics that you saw, like step away from, he gets hungry or something, I don't think any of that's working. So I think this entire Parasite fight is just bugged. And this recording was yesterday, so this recording is on the 11th. So it's not like we might see another hotfix tonight as of the 12th before release. So that's a possibility, but as of right now, it's still broken, untested. But yeah, I don't appreciate uploading and giving false impressions. Like, yeah, sure, I can complain and rant and stuff like that, but at least you're basing it off my opinions alone. You're not actually seeing it for yourself. And once again, skip all the ads, fight them at the end of the tunnel. I mean, these are elite, so I mean, you can fight 20, 30 ads at once and not have to worry about it. I mean, I'm 400 CR, but I'm completely 396 gear, and I just have the OP chest, which brought me up 4 CR. So it's not like I'm wearing like any new DLC gear at all, just the OP chest. Everything else is previous DLC gear. And I mean, one of the DPS is 406, so he's going to have some blue gear. Another DPS is 412, so he's going to have like full vendor gears. But it's not like we're ripping through this elite alert because we're higher gear to higher CR. You're not going to have any issues completing it yourself as well. So I understand, like, everyone's, like, you see the comments on the forums and stuff like that, well, just push back the release date. They can't do that. I mean, once there's a release date, that's set in stone. If anything, there has been precedent in the past where they've released episodes and then turned off the raids because they weren't ready. I think it was either Metal Part 1 or Metal Part 2. Whatever DME was. They turned off that raid right at the start. We didn't play it for, I think, a week and a half. I can't remember if the same thing happened in Phoenix Canon. I know there's all the disconnects at Phoenix Canon, and they still happen, but I can't remember if they turned off the raid or not. But I mean, they've done that. They've released episodes and just turned off the raid until it was in basically a working condition. So I don't know if they're going to do that now with the raid or the alert or any other content, but they do have that precedent. So basically, whenever something releases, it releases. And then we're looking at the final boss. It's Major Force. So I can't really, like I said, I don't know anything about the Dakota storyline or Static, so I don't know if like Parasite and Major Force fit into that storyline at all. I know there was an article that came out from Leon, is it Leon Chills? I might be getting his name wrong, but basically he was the writer for this episode, and he basically made some points where, like, saying his hands were tied because the bosses were already picked for him, so basically he had to design a story around bosses that were already selected. And jumping back to the elite alert now, you saw that Major Force kind of do that spinning attack, that atomic gunshot. That will kill you if you're not blocking. It's pretty much a one-shot, hits for like 300k, and he does it back-to-back. So this is the actual mechanic that was added, the lunge mechanic. As you'll see, after you lunge him, you see here, use rigging terminal, brute force, Major Force. That's supposed to be this terminal cog that I keep going to. You turn the cog and then it drops an air conditioner unit on Major Force and it explodes and it's supposed to do damage. Previously, it spawned and dropped it on him, but it didn't do any damage. And then I guess in the attempt to make it do damage, it broke it entirely. So now it doesn't work at all. So if anything, you see us defeating Major Force without that whole mechanic. So obviously it's not needed to do that extra damage because, it would add an extra like 60 seconds to the encounter. The other issue is, well, if you wipe on Major Force, you get locked out. This purple kind of wall stays up, and you have to do the rope rally loophole and get around it. So even that. So if you raid wipe on or group wipe on Major Force, then you're locked out and have to convince a pug to rope rally. So it's just unpolished. That's the kindest way that I can put into this episode. Is just unpolished. There's some broken feats that's launched out with the alerts. I mean, the duos, I love the duo. I have faith in the raid. So the elite raid is super like mechanics overlapping, buggy timing, stuff like that. No one can get past first boss, so that could change. I do have faith in Quatoxic because I know the type of quality content he's produced in the past. So I do feel that the raid will get into a spot where it's in a good spot for the community. The alert, I don't know. I have no clue. Like I said before, I have no clue. Even watching this footage now, how do you make this Elite Plus? So I don't know how you make this Elite Plus without like adding everything in the kitchen sink. Major Force and Parasite, even as bosses, don't do anything. You just tank them. That's it. So they're both like martial arts bosses. So, like I said, I don't like bringing you footage that I don't feel is complete, but I have to bring you this footage because the episode literally comes out tomorrow. So I'll try to get the elite footage up. I'm going to get the static ally, might get the artifact, but take care, guys. We'll see you in the next video.